Hello, Andre. How you doing?
Hey, Schneider, how you doing?
Not bad. Thank you for coming in. I know this was pretty last minute, but appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no, anytime. Like I know you wanted me on the show for a while since the last season in track, and then
Well, you had asked me. I think maybe even during cross country season.
nah,
And I definitely
no, I don't think so. Like, it was definitely around track season. Then
track seat.
you were gonna interview me during spring break, and then COVID hit.
Yeah. I remember you. Yeah, we were trying to get you on for a while, and you were definitely on the list of people I wanted to get in before the end of the year, and then obviously everything shut down. So I'm glad we're getting to do it now. But yeah, so like I said, I don't really have a script or rundown because I had a guest tentatively scheduled for today. She had something come up last minute, so we're going to try to get that in this weekend. But thanks again for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, first thing I want to start off with is a very simple question I ask everybody. What brought you to Gordon, and did running have any influence in that?
All right, so in short, no, running did not have influence of me being here. So, funny story, Gordon was actually my last choice of colleges in my list when I was applying in high school. I went to visit a bunch of the other schools around the area, a bunch of the UMass schools, especially UMass Amherst, because before studying the major that I'm taking now, I wanted to do civil engineering. But then I just felt like God is calling me towards another direction. So I decided to check out Gordon. And Gordon was recommended to me through my youth pastor, who was attending at the time. So I checked it out. I was really into it. And then I decided to give Gordon another visit around spring break. And I was really interested in the biblical studies department. So they got me in contact with Dr. Hughes. She told me what their department was all about.
Amy Hughes?
Yeah.
Okay, biblical
studies professor.
Right.
Yeah, she's on her sabbatical this semester, so nobody has seen her in a while. But yeah, she got me into it. I liked it. I decided to give it a shot, and I haven't regretted it ever since. I'm a junior now. I'm now a double major in Christian Ministries and Biblical Studies. Love the department. All the professors are amazing. My advisor is the chaplain, Bob Woodett. He's amazing.
How much overlap is there between those two majors?
Yeah, well, I declared it as my double major last semester, last year in my sophomore year. So, and I just started taking the first biblical studies class this semester. I'm taking Gospel of John, which actually was the last class I just had before this meeting started.
What influenced you to make that decision to want to pursue this?
Well, with Christian Ministries, that department focuses on the ministry aspect of leading a group or leading a church. Biblical studies I just found it important that I expand my knowledge on the Bible, and what better way to do it than to double major in biblical studies, because biblical studies department has great minds and professors. Like Dr. Hunt has an amazing aspect and view of the Gospels. So is Dr. Darko.
What do you want to do with that? Do you have aspirations to be a pastor or work in ministries anywhere?
I definitely see myself in working in a pastoral position, whether that be through working within the church or working in a nonprofit. But I don't know, that's definitely something that I've been praying on recently, seeing where God will take me after Gordon. I've definitely thought about attending seminary, but again, I'm still praying on that. I'm still not certain where I'm going to go after Gordon.
Sure. So I know a lot of the common core we have is based in theology. Are you, because you're a biblical studies and Christian min major, is there any, because I know science majors don't have to take scientific enterprise, and I mean I just don't really know how the program works, but do you still have to take your Christian Theo classes and your core?
Yeah, actually,
classes?
Christian Theo is a requirement when studying Christian Ministries.
So it is part of the core.
Yeah,
it is part of the department.
Yeah, so either way, I have to take it.
Sure. So, what are some of your favorite classes that you've had being a junior now?
In core, I've enjoyed Intro to Psych. It's like psychology and Christian ministries like mix in well together because when studying ministry, we have to study on how to address people when preaching towards them, and also with counseling. Psychology really helps with that. And for a while, I've considered adding psych as a minor, but that sounded like a lot of work, which I don't have time for.
Yeah, I certainly understand that. Being a
double major already, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just have a major and a minor. I couldn't imagine if I had two majors trying to tack a minor onto that.
But the thing is, with double majoring in Christian ministries and biblical studies, it's not that much work that gets added on. Like, if you're just like a biblical studies major alone, there's like a lot more classes that you have to take because you have to have a concentration. But since I'm already a Christian major, I don't get to have a concentration in biblical studies. I just have to take like the general stuff that they give. Like, I have to take like one class on the Gospels, one class on the Epistles, and one class on Paul's letters, and then one class in Old Testament studies, and et cetera, et cetera.
Sure. Yeah, so let's shift gears here a little bit to the athletics side of things.
Yeah, right.
I know you from the cross-country and track teams, and like I mentioned at the start, I guess it sounds like that's just kind of a bonus that you're getting to do here. But tell me how your career in running began.
I started to run competitively in teams in middle school. I was recommended to me by my guidance counselor, who was also the coach for cross country in middle school. She got me into it, and I gave it a try, loved it, and I've been doing it ever since. I was mostly doing cross country. I've only done track like once in middle school, and then I kind of like turned away from it because I favored cross country more. So one story was let me tell you one of the best races I've had that I remember from high school. So it was in Lynn, Massachusetts, in the Linwoods Reservation, and it was like very cold that day, along with like freezing rain and everything, which made it even more cold. And personally for me, like I love running in the cold. Like, there's just that idea of like running and racing. Just, I was like, when I race during cold days, it's like I have the mindset of like, it's so cold, let's get this race over with, and then like I just run and get it over with, and then I get like the best PR I get.
Yeah, I'd definitely rather it be 5 degrees than 95 degrees.
I don't know about 5 degrees though. I don't think we're allowed to run in 5-degree weather.
Yeah, maybe that's a little extreme, but yeah, definitely prefer the cold over.
And they probably do that in Canada.
Yeah,
we can ask Weichard.
Yeah, we should.
But yeah, so in that race, freezing rain and cold, like everyone was complaining, and this was like my first experience running in extreme weather, and all I remember from that race was that I got the best time and the best position that I've gotten throughout the whole season. I don't remember what my time was, but all I remember was the place I got. I believe I was like at around 20th place out of 100. No, or yeah, let's say 100 to like 80. Again, I went to a charter school, so it wasn't that much competition.
Yeah, I went to a small private school, so I definitely had a limited amount of competition as well. Did you have a track team? Did you have opportunities to run? You just
yeah, we did have a track team,
okay.
But I only competed once in middle school.
Why'd you stop?
No, it's like I tried to get into it in high school, but ninth grade my grades weren't doing that well, so I wasn't eligible to do it. And then later on, I just didn't have like the desire to do track. I just did cross country.
Sure. Yeah, my school story is I only did track once because we only had a team once.
Yeah.
So
but
I definitely
like,
understand how.
Yeah. Also, like the track team in my school wasn't that great.
Oh, okay. That's, I guess that might play into the decision a little bit. But yeah, so you're here now. What made you decide to continue doing it in college?
Well, I definitely didn't consider doing cross country in college, but it was actually through La Vida that my Sherpa said like, hey, you should do cross country since you're a runner, and we did the race at the end of the trip.
Who was your Sherpa?
Electa.
Okay. Yeah, I know her, but she's not on the team. But
yeah, I was like, and I heard that the cross country here is really good, so I decided to give it a shot, and then came 2 weeks early, and then we went back to La Vida, which was very interesting for me.
So you were on the La Vida trip, I guess that would have been in July?
Yeah, mid-July.
Okay. Mid-July, all right. That was the year I got hurt right before season began. Had to miss a couple weeks, so I didn't come to preseason.
Mm-hmm.
But because I was thinking like maybe you were doing the run with the team, and then like maybe if the team was there anyway, that might have provided some encouragement or incentive. But it sounds like you were on the trip before then.
Yeah, and also Bridget Hill was in my group when I did La Vida, and she was gonna do cross country.
Sure.
And I like to think that she also convinced me to join as well.
So was it weird to come back for preseason and be there again, but like be able to shower this time and have a slightly different
and
experience?
Eat.
And eat. That's true. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was like, it was great to be back because like I had a great experience at La Vida.
Yeah, well, I did Discovery, so I still like I ask people all the time what their
I'm so sorry for
experience
you.
is like. Oh, you. What do you mean? What do you have against Discovery?
I don't know, man. Like people say La Vida is better, and I agree.
I like Discovery.
Okay.
I had a good experience.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. I just don't think I could like, being out in the woods a couple days a week through a quad and then doing a weekend trip, like that's good enough for me. Like I'm not as much of an outdoors guy, and also just like doing it for 10 or 12 days like nonstop, having to fast at one point, and that sounded a little extreme to me. I know a lot of people do it, I know a lot of people love it, but I just, when I heard there was another option, I thought that sounds more like
well, in my defense, I didn't know there was another option. I thought La Vida was my only choice. But even if I did know about Discovery, I would have chose La Vida.
Yeah, so you and I are actually fairly close in terms of ability and speed, and I know we've been pretty good rivals for the last few seasons.
I wouldn't say we're rivals.
Well, I mean, it's a friendly...
Yeah, like friendly competition.
Yeah, like, I mean, I certainly don't wish any ill will on you or anything like that, but, I feel like we're close, we're kind of in the same training group, and you've even kind of, I think, pushed ahead of me a little bit this year.
Yeah, like, I've definitely improved a lot this season.
Very good to see.
I've been promoted, like, up 2 stages. Like, I'm now with, like, last Tuesday, I ran with Crowder and Palmer.
Yeah, I've run with Josh a little bit as well. It's just, it was so hard this summer for me to, like, be motivated. Like, I don't know how you felt training off season, but...
Quarantine was, like... It hits you different.
Yeah, I was able to do it for a couple of weeks, but, just...
Yeah, like, on again, off again, I was... On again, off again, I would do a run, but, I live, like, fairly close to the city, and I prefer to run in trails.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you this. It sounds like you prefer the cross-country environment.
Yeah.
I can tell you from experience, I only came here with the intention of doing cross-country, and, Coach Weikert's very good. And he sold it very well, and I have no regrets at all. I'm very glad I did it. One of the best decisions I made. But what ultimately pulled you into track and deciding to be a runner year-round?
I mean, we have a very good community in this team. And I grew to favor it, so I decided to give track another shot. And I was just curious, like, of what I can hit in the events.
What's your favorite event to run?
Well, the only events that I've been doing in track was the 800 and the 4x4. The 4x4 definitely is my favorite.
You never did a 15?
Yeah, I did do a 15.
Yeah.
But I think I only did it like once during track season.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like... I was telling when we had Josh Backert on a couple shows ago, because he's obviously a 400 specialist. I just was saying, like, 400 to me is one of the toughest races there is. Cause, there's not enough time to get in the zone, but at the same time, you can't just treat it like an all-out sprint, or else you're going to burn out.
Yeah, it's like my PR for the 400 in the 4x4 is 61 seconds. I'm trying to break it by at least 1 second. It's some improvement, but it's just very difficult running the 400. It's like I don't have the body of a sprinter. I'm definitely a mid-distance runner.
Yeah, well, I mean, with a 5K, you can talk about PRs, like trying to take 10 or 20 seconds off is pretty substantial.
No,
like you can't do that in a 4. Like
Yeah.
1 or 2 seconds doesn't sound like much, but when you consider the nature of the event and the race, it's a pretty fair amount.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and speaking of PRs, like in the 800, you're 217, right?
I think in an open 8, when we broke the sprint medley relay record, I did the 8 leg in that, and I ran a 2:15 there. But I think my open 8 is it's 2:17.6.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, that's the same for me. I'm a 2:17 right now in the 800.
Yeah.
Like, I was hoping to break it last semester, and then COVID hit. So, I was robbed of it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, keep fingers crossed this semester. I actually just saw, I don't know if you follow CCC Sports on Instagram, but they said, I guess they had a board meeting on Monday, and they remain optimistic about winter sports getting to have some sort of competition when schools come back in February, because it sounds like most of the schools are going to be on the schedule that we're on. So, yeah, I'm hopeful for you guys that, obviously I'll be graduated, but that you'll be able to have at least some sort of opportunity to compete and run, even if it's just the inter-squad stuff we're doing right now.
Yeah,
I think it's been really good for us.
Yeah, in the beginning of the season, I thought we would have some sort of competition against Endicott, because they are our neighbors.
Yeah, it does bother me. I totally get being cautious and everything, and people are at different comfort levels, but college football, they got their act together and they're going strong, and it's obviously they are much bigger money makers than Gordon and Endicott cross country and track, but at the same time, it's if they found a way to do it, if we were comfortable or we could make it work, it's just I feel with this whole thing, to issue a blanket statement all D3 all across the country, we're highly recommending you shut down. It's maybe the situation's better in some areas of the country, and some schools are more well prepared to handle it, or they have better resources, they can make it work, to kind of put the foot down on everybody. I guess I know the NCAA, D1's obviously much more of a priority for them, because again, it all comes back to the finances and everything. But yeah, it is frustrating to not be able to have a true season, but at the same time, we have been very fortunate, very blessed with the COVID situation on our campus, and to be able to have the events that we've been able to have is very, very fortunate.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with how Gordon's been handling COVID. We haven't had a lot of positive cases on campus. It's I was expecting we would go home early.
Yeah, I'm shocked that we're still here. To be honest,
I'm very grateful that I can get back here.
Yeah,
that I still get to continue my college career.
Yeah, I try to be an optimist, but I'm also a realist.
I always tend to look at the bright side.
Yeah, it was so hard for me to remain optimistic when everything, it seemed every single hour for a set period of time there was more bad news coming out. But I thought for sure in the beginning of August, maybe we'll get to October, maybe, if everything goes well. But I just thought a bunch of colleges are going to be coming back, and cases are going to go up, and the wintertime viruses tend to there's no way, right?
Yeah.
But, we're here, and this is actually I'm taking an advanced public speaking class right now. I've got to give a TED Talk style presentation as our last assignment. I think I want to do something on how Gordon's handled the pandemic. Because you've heard a lot of schools have tried this hybrid approach, or trying to reopen, and they've had to shut it down because they couldn't make it work. And we're here. We've had very few positive cases, and it's going well.
I mean, we're a small school, so it's very easy to contain. How many students do we have here? 1,500, 2,000?
It's not 2,000. I think it's usually somewhere between 15 and 16.
Okay.
Although with so many students being remote this semester, because again, different comfort levels or whatever the situation is, I don't know. I'd like to venture a guess. Like we probably have anywhere from 1,250 to 1,300 as a conservative estimate, at least, living on campus right now. Which, it's still a lot, especially when they talk about limit your gatherings to 10 people or whatever the super strict original lockdown regulations were. I just kind of thought to bring that many people from all across the country, how much success can we really hope for? And here we are. It's been really good.
Yeah, hopefully by next semester we would see like a shift towards like normalcy, like being like thinking a little bit back to normal.
Yeah.
Like with I've been hearing on the news that like a vaccine is ready. It's just like the matter of distributing it.
Yeah, that new one that they just found is, I think they said 90% effective in the clinical trials or whatever. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I don't know how all that works and how many phases of research it's got to go through. I know obviously this one's super expedited because it's a global pandemic, but normally you get a vaccine ready in 12 to 18 months. That's like wicked fast.
Hopefully by the time I graduate, like things will be back towards like.
Oh, yeah, by the time you graduate?
Yeah. Like
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean you still got a year and a half, right?
Yeah, hopefully I would have like a proper graduation.
Yeah, I'm still a little nervous for May. Because I feel like, I don't know. Yeah, they compare it to, I mean, obviously it's a coronavirus, it's not an influenza virus, but they talk about, the Spanish flu pandemic, and that lasted 2.5 years. But, technology's evolved, we know what's going on the other side of the world so much quicker now, and research in other areas gets transmitted and distributed so much quicker. Hygiene is so much better than it was back in 1918. I'm confident that all that will play a role in expediting it a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for sure for you guys.
Yep, we'll see. All I can say is just we'll see.
Yeah, that's kind of one day at a time. I think is a good approach. But yeah, I mean, so like I said, I'm sure you're going to get a few more opportunities at least before you graduate to have some real events. What kind of goals do you have in mind for yourself as you wrap up your college career here?
Like in
cross country,
okay, yeah.
Or track with a team.
No, it's like now that I'm going to be a senior next fall, I've considered like should I even keep going in cross country, because like it's my last year and I should focus more on my classes, but I don't want to say yes, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I totally understand that.
But definitely Wyke would want to convince me to stay in the team.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think he's been listening to these, so hopefully, hopefully he can find a way to make it work. I know it's like, obviously it's different because we're D3, but a lot of times there's a stigma around college athletes. Is like, are you there for
and also
the academics, or are you
also
there
like
for...
if it's gonna be like the same thing what we've been doing this season, like would it even be worth it?
Yeah, I feel like with us, you can only train your body so much before it becomes, you don't want to overtrain yourself. Mm-hmm. So, it's not like, you're on a basketball team, you got, hours of practice and plays to go over, and cross-training and conditioning, and, traveling to and from games and everything. I feel like, not that there isn't a commitment in cross-country and track, but I feel like it's a little bit less of a time commitment than some of the other sports that we offer here. So I'm hopeful you can make it work.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so I know you, like I said, very last minute, so I know you got a meeting to get to, but I do know you're a big soccer fan.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm Brazilian, so it's pretty much...
For sure.
It's our culture, man.
Yeah. I want you to educate me a little bit, because let me tell you something. I have wanted to get into soccer for a few years now, and it's tough for me. Like everything else I'm trying to juggle, and like trying to keep up with my racing stuff, and football here being really big in America, and just there being so many different leagues and groups and everything. It's tough for me, but I will always watch the World Cup, the men's and the women's, especially because our women's team has won it recently.
The women's team is they're goats.
Yeah, and the men's team couldn't even
Megan
qualify.
Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, they're amazing. They managed to get 13 goals against Thailand in the last World Cup. Like, that's very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me ask you, like, is there like an unsaid rule about like when a blowout's that bad? Like, do people criticize teams in soccer for running up the score as it
No,
will?
I mean,
Because
there's people that are gonna say like, oh, it's because they're very good and the other teams they're garbage. Like, I mean, like, how many players do you know from Thailand? Like,
yeah.
what teams do you know from
Yeah.
Thailand?
Well, and I mean, for me, it was always like the thing. It's like, how many, like all those players out on the field, like, how often are you going to get the chance to score a goal in a World Cup game?
Mm-hmm.
Like that
Yeah,
to me. It's like you can put some of your reserves in, or whatever the situation is. Like I'm sure I've never scored a goal in the World Cup. I never will. But I imagine it's a thrilling experience that every soccer player dreams of when they're young, and to have that opportunity. Like, so what if we're up 8-0? I want to make it.
Yeah.
Want to get that ninth goal in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, again, with that game, like, it seems like everyone got a goal. Like, might as well get every player in the team to score a goal, even the goalkeepers.
Yeah. But like I was saying, like, I'll always watch the World Cup. Mm-hmm. Hope our men's team can get a little bit better this time around. But
with the players that we have right now in the men's team, like,
you're saying we as in America, not Brazil. Okay.
Yeah, in the U.S. Like, we have players like Christian Pulisic and Gio Reyna, who plays for Borussia Dortmund in Germany, and Christian Pulisic especially. Like, he's like the star of the team right now. He's the number 10 player. He plays for a big team, Chelsea in England.
Yeah.
And
my uncle actually lives in England, and he's a big Tottenham Hotspur fan.
Oh, I love that. That's my team too.
That's your team
in the London area.
Sure.
But all time in England, I'm a Liverpool fan all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you this: is the Premier League is that like the main league you follow, or are there other organizations?
It's the most competitive league
Sure.
that I've out there. Like there's big teams there like Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, etc., etc.
Yeah. You know what I love about that league is no playoffs. I just think that, like, I'm sure it's very unpopular here in America, but we have, like, going over to the NASCAR side of things, our playoff system is garbage. It is just
in NASCAR.
In NASCAR, yeah. I mean, it's just you can theoretically, and this would never happen because of the parity and everything, but you can theoretically win all 35 of the first 35 races and get caught up in a wreck or have your engine fail in the 36th and you're not the champion. Like, there's no other racing league in the world where that would even remotely be a possibility. So I feel like it doesn't always reward the best driver over the course of a season, who in my mind should be the champion. And so that, everybody likes to bring up, and this is the worst argument to me, but everybody brings up 2007 Patriots, or like the Warriors from a few years ago that won 73-9, and it's like, well, you only play one other team at a time. And particularly in football, like, they were begging for playoffs in college football for years because there are so many schools, and the best teams, the only way we find out who the better team is they have to play each other. You have to have a playoff system. So to me, it's just very frustrating to see that in NASCAR. But even in a stick and ball sport like soccer, with the Premier League, I think I like the idea of crowning whoever just has the most points at the end of a season.
Yeah.
It's very simple. They're the champions. They're the best team. They proved it all year, and every game matters and counts for something.
Yeah, and also it's only like 20 teams that can compete in the Premier League.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing I love is the idea of promotion and relegation. Because like, imagine, like, the New York Knicks have been garbage for like 30 years now. I guess maybe not quite.
It's very rare to find fans of their team.
Yeah, or like the Brooklyn Nets, I think, have kind of taken over the New York basketball fandom. But just imagine if the Lakers G League team like won the championship, and then the Knicks finished like dead last in the Eastern Conference, and Lakers G League squad took their place in the NBA, and the Knicks got relegated to, that to me, because everybody talks about the idea of tanking, like I think the Jets having a terrible season in the NFL right now. It's kind of tanking for Trevor Lawrence. Having relegation as a threat, I think, is a real discouragement from teams trying to do that. And, obviously, again, American sports work differently. But if we had that in America, I don't think we'd have that problem. Because if you were so bad, you would not return next season to compete.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a second division of a second league in American soccer, because the only league I know of in America is the MLS, and it's always the same teams every year.
Yeah, so I'll always I'll keep up with the Union a little bit, being from just outside of Philadelphia. If the game is on, I'll monitor it.
Speaking of the Union, you guys beat us last Sunday and won a trophy.
Who's us?
Me, New England Revolution.
New England Revolution. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
So I'm still kind of salty about that.
Yeah.
So don't bring up that.
Well,
team.
this shows you how much I'm able to keep up with it. I had no idea that was even happening. I tried to follow it a little back.
I didn't even know they were competing for a trophy.
Yeah.
New England. If you can think, we could have won a trophy last Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to follow it a little bit with the MLS's back tournament, but then all the sports came back.
I thought the MLS is back tournament was the substitute for this year's season, but then
it was kind of strange because it was okay, there's this mini tournament within the season, and now there are more, because I thought maybe the season was going to be finished.
Yeah, that I thought that was going to determine who's going to lift up the trophy.
Yeah,
but then
the MLS Cup, right? Is the trophy. So.
Yeah, no, the playoffs already started now, so
yeah.
I believe New England Revolution made it to the playoffs. We've gotten 6 in the league now.
Sure. Okay, so last question, and I'll let you get to your meeting here. Messi or Ronaldo?
Oh, well, don't get me wrong. They are both magnificent players. They are hands down. No one can deny it. They are goats. But if it's hard to choose which one's better, because they have their own unique play style. Because when you look at Messi, the way he plays, that's natural. But when you look at Ronaldo's journey in his career, he worked hard to get where he is now. When you look back to the start of his career, he started off in Sporting Lisbon, and then made it up to Manchester United, and that's where his career really started. And then you see him accomplish many things in Real Madrid, and able to lead the team to 4 Champions Leagues. It's very impressive. But to choose between the two, I'm gonna have to go with Messi, because I appreciate, as much as I respect Ronaldo with the journey that he has made and the commitments that he made to get to where he is now. I respect more of talent. The talent that you're born with, and that you definitely see that in Messi.
So you think Messi's a little bit more natural born talent in the... Okay.
And also I also respect commitment. Messi's been with Barcelona since the youth.
Oh yeah.
Since the youth league.
Wasn't he going to leave, and then he...
Yeah,
I remember something major happened in the news about that.
No, here's what happened. In the Champions League, we lost 8-2 against Bayern Munich, who are the current champions of the Champions League, and also with the manager that they've had, I forget who it was, but after that game they sacked him, and Messi was already disappointed with the manager's style, and also with he's also had problems with the president of the club, and right now he resigned, so I guess that's one thing Messi could be happy about. But
sure.
he did say he wanted to leave because his contract was almost up, and the president was like, "Oh, you want to leave? Oh, another club just has to pay 700 million euros, and then you can leave." And no one can pay that much.
Yeah.
There was rumors of Messi going to Manchester City, and that would be a good fit for him, because the manager there is Pep Guardiola, and he was a manager in Barcelona before, and he helped lead Messi to 2 Champions Leagues, and in 2009 was the best season Barcelona's had, one of them. They managed to win 6 trophies, if I'm correct. They won the La Liga League, the Copa del Rey, the Champions League, obviously, and then all the other stuff, Club World Cup, etc., etc.
Sure.
But I'm still happy that Messi is still in Barcelona because that's where his career started, and that it's very iconic to see Messi in a Barcelona game. But since his contract is almost up and he wanted to leave before, I don't think I'm gonna be able to see a Barcelona game with Messi.
Yeah. Yeah. How many years? So what's the trophy that it's awarded to the best soccer player?
The Ballon d'Or.
That's right. Yeah. I knew it was something like that. I knew I was gonna butcher the pronunciation. But yeah, didn't Messi and Ronaldo trade that off for 10 years or something?
No,
crazy that?
Since 2012, it's been Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah.
Or 2010 if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's crazy,
but
man.
It's only in 2018 that someone who isn't Messi or Ronaldo won it, and it was 2018. Luka Modric won.
That's right.
Won the award that year. This year, they wanted to cancel the award ceremony because of COVID. The most likely player to win it this year is Robert Lewandowski in Bayern Munich, because they've had the best season in the Champions League. They've beaten everyone. They did not lose a single game, and also they won the Bundesliga in Germany, and also the other trophy that they compete in. Lewandowski had the best season of his life, and he deserves that trophy. And it's very unfair that there won't be an award ceremony. There's been people that wanting to petition to bring it, to just have the
a
ceremony
virtual
anyway.
ceremony or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know what they're gonna do. I haven't heard anything, but yeah, Lewandowski deserves that trophy this year.
Yeah. I know it's gotta be tough for a lot of sports leagues, probably having to make similar decisions with COVID and everything. But yeah, man, like I was saying, thank you. I know it was kind of last minute, so I'm glad we were able to make it work. And yeah, best of luck to you. You're on track to graduate in four full years, right? So
yeah, I anticipate to be done with Gordon by 2022.
Great. Yeah. So hopefully you've at least got this track season, and like I said, I hope everything works out. You'll be able to run it again next year. But best of luck, and yeah, I'm sure you're going to do great things in Christian Men as well. So
yep.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, man. Have
Thanks.
a good rest of your night.
All right, thanks.